There we go. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. We are getting ready to sew McCalls 7933. Hello, my name is LaShawn, and I am founder of Let's Get Social. So we're here for our Friday sew along, and I'm also celebrating my pre-birthday. So my birthday is tomorrow, and I'm excited to be kind of celebrating it with my sew family. So we're going to get started. We're just letting a couple more people come in, and then we're going to get started. And so while we're doing that, I am actually going to talk to you a little bit about some of the stuff that I have to be able to sew this sew along. I have done a mock version, which you see right here. I actually created this tank top as well to go with it, but here is the skirt that we will be sewing today. And it is super cute, a super easy sew. It is beginner friendly, so I'm excited. This pattern does come with 4 different options. I did sew view D right here, which is the difference between view D and view C is that it has the 2 colors. So it has the ruffles in one color and then the skirt in another color. But today we're going to be sewing view C, which is all in the same color. So we're going to get started soon. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what you'll need. So in addition to your fabric, you will also need some 3/8 inch elastic, and that's in order to create this little ruching effect in the front. You can't really see it on the camera, but it is a little bit of ruching that's there in the front. And then you also need about a 1-inch elastic, which will go into the band that you have around the waist. So those are the 2 pieces of elastic that you need. And I will also be using a ruffler foot, and I will also be using a hemming foot. Let me see what this is. Foot number 62. It's a hemmer, and it just creates this very small, narrow hem along the edges. You can't really see it, but ultimately it results in an extra little bit of ruffle at the end of your ruffle. So I'll be using that as well. And it took a little bit of getting used to. But once I was able to get started, I was able to do pretty well. So again, welcome for all that are joining. Today we're going live not only on YouTube and on Facebook, but we're also going live on TikTok. So again, we're going to be sewing 7933, and it is again a pretty quick, user-friendly sew. So we shouldn't be too long. Happy Memorial Day for those that do acknowledge and celebrate that day. I do, so I want to take an opportunity to say Happy Memorial Day. All right, we're going to get started. So we're going to start with pieces 1 and 2. They are the right and left front, so we're going to be pinning those together. So we'll take piece 1 and we'll put it right side down, and then we will lay piece 2 over top. So, or I'm sorry, right side up for piece 1. So I'm laying it down now, just removing my pattern pieces. Hello, hello, hello for those that have joined. I'm going to put this here so you could see. So again, piece 1 is right side facing up. Piece 2 is right side facing down. And for those that are popping in, feel free to share. It's a beautiful Friday. Here on the East Coast, we are experiencing weather that is in the mid-70s. So people are really enjoying that. For those that are on TikTok, if you do want to access this recording later, you will be able to go onto my Let's Get Social Facebook or YouTube page, and you can watch this recording later. So I'm just pinning down to the dot. You can line this. There's one notch that you would line up to make sure that you have your pieces where they're supposed to be. I feel like I haven't been live on TikTok for a little while. So, hello to my TikTok family. All right. All right, so we have pinned. Let me just make sure. Yes. Line those notches. And this is a vertical stitch, so I am doing a straight stitch for this. And I'm doing the 5/8 inch seam allowance. So just making sure that those raw edges are lined up. Hello, hello, hello for those that are joining. Welcome to Let's Get Social, live sew along. And I'm just going to do a little back stitch, and we'll be done with that. And then the other reason why it's important to do 5/8 inch seam allowance is because you actually use that seam allowance to create a casing. So I have my iron ready to go. And what I'm going to do is finger press the seam allowance open, and then I will be ironing it flat before we actually create a seam. And one of the things that it does tell you to do is it tells you to baste stitch. However, if you iron your seam down really well, you actually can just go ahead. Well, let me back up a minute. The instructions tell you to baste stitch, and then you're going to do a top stitch later. I'm actually just doing the top stitch. I don't do the base stitch, but what I do to make sure that it's easy for me to do this top stitch and I don't have any issues is I iron that seam allowance down really well. Looks like I might have something on the top of my iron sticking to my fabric. So if you use a lot of fusing tape, like I do from time to time, that can actually happen. All right, there we go. All right, let's try from this bottom again. And if you can hear that, that's the steam coming from this iron. So you're going to hear a little bit of sniffling because I am having a really bad allergy attack. All right, there we go. Hi, Joy. How are you? Thank you for joining. Happy to have you here. Happy Friday. Happy Memorial Day. We are sewing McCalls 7933, which is a skirt. You can see a little bit of it right here. And it is very beginner friendly. All right, so I have my seam allowance pressed down flat, and now I am going to create the casing in which the elastic is going to fit in. So again, this, if you are following along in the instructions tells you to do a basting stitch first, and you do have the option to do that. However, I pressed down that seam allowance really well, and now I am creating a, instead of doing the basting stitch, I'm just doing what would be equivalent to a top stitch to create the casing. And so that stitch is done about 1/4 from the raw edge of that seam allowance. And I'm using, I actually have it, I have an edge foot on, but I'm going to actually change my plate because I had a straight stitch plate in, and I want to do a plate that will allow me to have a little more options. Sometimes you want to switch and do a, what we call a straight stitch plate, because if you have problems with your fabric getting sucked down because you have to get really close to the edge, which I did experience that, so I had to switch it up just a little bit. And we'll go back to this one. There we go. All right, now I'm creating my casing and also creating my top stitch at the same time. Hi, Lynn. How are you? Happy you joined. Working on McCalls 7999. And behind me, you can actually see the mock-up that I created. So we are on what would be step 3, which is creating this casing. All right, one side done. I'm doing great. I'm suffering from a little bit of allergies, so you'll hear me kind of sniff a little bit. But I'm, medicated, and hopefully it won't get too bad. But other than that, it's my birthday is tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to kind of bringing my birthday in. So yeah, normally I travel for my birthday, but this year I'm still traveling, but I'm just traveling a little bit later than usual. So I'm looking forward to that. Do you have any plans for this weekend? Thank you, Lynn. For most people, it's a long weekend. So I'm going to be traveling to going to Bali and Malaysia and Singapore. So I'm excited about that. I'm really looking forward to it. I've never been. Hey, Jay. There we go. Almost done creating this casing and the top stitch. So we're doing kind of a 2-for-1. And there we go. And that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to press that. Yes, I'm hoping that I'm having a wonderful experience as well. So you say you're going to your aunt's retirement party. I know that's right. Retirement parties are something next to birthdays. I don't even know. Retirement parties might actually be better than birthdays because everybody wants to be retired, especially while your health is still where you want it to be. You can enjoy life at a whole new level. I'm looking forward to that. Okay. Hey, Aisha. Thank you, Sexy Greta. Thank you. Okay. So now that we've gotten our top stitch, we created our casing. The next thing that we are doing is it tells you to have a 10-inch piece of 3/8 inch elastic. So you'll need 2 of those pieces. And I'm actually going to do a 9-inch piece because I realized when I made the skirt earlier, I felt like it just wasn't enough gathering for me. So I'm going to do a smaller piece, an inch smaller piece of elastic, just to get a little bit more gathering. And so you could see, I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. And I would have loved for it to be just a little bit more up. So anyway, I'm going to achieve that this time around. And let me just figure out what did I do with my, I'm going to get another safety pin. All right, here we go. So I'm going to use a safety pin to fish this piece in. And it should go in fairly easy. Thank you. Yeah, I really like it. I really want to make a dress out of this. I didn't have time to kind of explore it, but I will make this again because it is a really easy sew. So I'll make it again and I will extend the top and make it into a dress, maybe even a halter dress, because I just feel like, oh my goodness, it'll be so cute. All right, so I got one in. And I'm just going to take a regular pin and pin it at the top. And once you have both sides in, you'll do a straight stitch across the top and the bottom. And actually, one of the things when you're putting it in, hey Jules, you want to make sure that your elastic does not twist around like mine just did. Yep, there we go. All right. All right, one side down. I'm just going to use a pin to hold that in. And now I'm putting the other side in. Okay. Can't stop, won't stop. I know that's right. So I'm just pushing this safety pin with my little piece of elastic. And I did do it 1 inch shorter this time. So instead of cutting 2, hi, Miss Tata. Happy to see you here on this Friday. All right. So just pull this through. And then we're going to stitch the top and the bottom. All right. I'm just going to use a pin to keep this in. All right, and now I'm going to take this right over here and I'm going to go do a straight stitch across the top and then one across the bottom. All right. And I'll just go back and forth like 2 times. Okay, one down and then do the bottom. All right, so we have finished this little front part and you could see the little ruching that is in there. And now the next part is we are connecting the skirt piece, which is the back skirt piece, to the front piece that we just finished sewing. So right sides together. you will lay down and matching up your notches. So I'm going to lay this down, and then I will take my skirt and I will match it up. Anybody having a cookout or doing anything fun this weekend? Hi, Sharon. How are you? Welcome. Hi, Kay Marie. Thank you for joining. Sharon, you said I'm going back over to TikTok. The one thing I will say I love about YouTube is when you go back and watch the videos, you can watch them on, you can change the speed. That's probably my favorite feature. So I'm just pinning the sides together. And then when I finish that, I will stitch them at 5/8 inch. So I might have mentioned this before some of you got on. I have terrible allergies. So I took some medicine, but you can go back and watch the live that you missed. Yeah, that is. I love Facebook for that too. But I wish Facebook had a feature where you can adjust the speed. Because I love being able to watch people talk at 1.25. I want them to go through it fast. All right. This is, if you are thinking about something that's easy to sew, this is definitely an easy sew. The longest, the thing that takes the longest is doing the hemming of the ruffle. Which after doing it, so I hem this ruffle before I attached it to the skirt. But after doing it, I don't really feel like you have to hem it first because it's not so ruffled that you can't get it to be straight to go through the ruffler or to go through the hemming foot. So we'll see. I'm debating whether I'm going to hem it before I ruffle it and attach it. We'll see how we're doing on timing. Yeah, I have horror. Everybody, I'm talking to so many people that are dealing with allergies right now. It's really bad. I was doing fine. I had a really bad allergy attack earlier this year, so I thought I was done, but apparently not. Okay, so I've pinned the sides and I am going to now stitch. Here we go. So a 5/8 seam allowance. Thank you for the roses, Miss Tata. I appreciate it. I haven't been on TikTok in so long. I feel like I forgot you get roses. So thank you for the likes. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate them. All right, one side done, one side to go. People still ask me, oh, you like to stand up while you sew? And I really do. I tried to sit down last week or was it the week before? And I was just like, nope, I think I just really prefer standing up. It's not for everybody, but I definitely like it. Hey, Anthony. You say you stand to surge. Yeah. It's so if I had I could I like to stand. I stand to surge, I stand to sew. I think I sew a lot faster standing too. All right. So we have put our skirt together, the front, the back. And the next step is to stitch the ends of our casing. And guess what? Forgot to cut my casing. So let me get that really quick and then we'll make the casing. I knew I was missing something. It's like, what is going on? I felt like only a little bit of pieces. go. So here's my casing. 2 pieces. You're going to sew them together. Put right sides together. Then you're going to sew them at the sides. Oh my goodness, let me get this person. How do I, there we go. You said, is this what I'm wearing tomorrow? I don't know what I'm gonna wear tomorrow. I haven't decided. So for those that are just joining, tomorrow is my birthday. I'm going to brunch with my kids, and then I'm going to dinner with my boyfriend at night. And I don't know what I'm gonna wear. Thank you, Miss Tata. All right, so I stitched one side, and then I'm stitching the other side, and then you want to make sure, and there's a couple of different ways you can do the band, but you can leave a small portion open on one area. Let me see, what do they tell you to do? They tell you to yes, they tell you to leave a small area open, which is what I'm going to do. So the band is 1 inch, so you want to leave like a 1 inch opening on one side. Oops. So one of the challenges that you have is when you get too close to the edge, your fabric will get sucked down in there, especially this fabric because it's very soft. Oops. All right, let me rethread. Hi, Cabela, K-Bella. Thank you for joining. And happy Friday. All right. Let me just stitch up this other end. And then we're going to fold this in half and attach our casing we'll attach our casing to the skirt. As you can see, like I said, this skirt is very beginner friendly. So you'll see I left a little hole in here to slide the elastic band through. Hey, Tia. And I am folding it in half, right side out. And I'm actually going to cut this seam allowance a little bit. Just to make it easier for the elastic to slide through. All right. Now I'm going to fold it in half. Right side out. And you have the option of doing a basting stitch here. What I'm doing is I'm going to iron it so it stays, and then I'm going to pin it to the skirt. I'm not going to do a basting stitch, but you definitely could do a basting stitch around your waistband. All right, there we go. There we go. Yes, I'm making 79.33. Here you go. Put that right there so you can see a little bit. So we have just finished putting the skirt together. And we are now going to put the band on, or the casing for the elastic. So fold it in half, right sides facing, and you're going to line up the raw edges and the seams. And you do have notches in the top of the skirt to line up. I start with the seams and go from there. And then you just take your pins or clips. You start pinning, again, lining those raw edges up. Thank you. Yeah, this is going to be so cute. Did you see? I think you did see that. So the one behind me, the skirt behind me, is exactly what I'm making. So you can see it's got the little ruffles, which I like. So this time I did make the gathered part right here a little bit shorter, so it could be like that. I hope that's the goal. So I just took about 1 inch. If that's not enough, then next time around, because I do want to make this into, thank you, Tia. I want to make this into a dress with like a halter top or a, a strapless top. But I think this will be so cute as a dress. I just didn't have enough time to figure it out. That's right. Sun's out, thighs out. Exactly. Even though this really, it is pretty modest. Even with me raising it up a little bit, this ruffle part, it falls pretty low. So you probably won't be able to see that much thighs. All right, just pinning this casing, lining up the raw edges, lining up those notches. And then after that, we are going to put in our elastic. And we will pretty much be done with the skirt part. The next part is really the ruffles. Has anybody made this? I might actually make the dress version tonight before I go to bed so I can wear it tomorrow. I have to figure it out, but I can. All right, I got it all pinned. Let me just add a couple little extra pins in here just to make sure all these three pieces stay together. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for coming on Friday. I know it's beautiful outside. It's a holiday weekend. So I appreciate seeing y'all. Okay. So same thing. We're going to do 5/8 inch seam allowance. I'm just going to check and make sure I know exactly where my, okay, there we go. I want to make sure I know where my elastic is going in so I don't accidentally stitch over that. So I'm going to move this to the side. And again, making sure all my layers are there. No bunching. And let's see, just all right, there we go. I've had this fabric for quite some time. So I feel like I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. I bought it when I first started sewing. So well, I guess it's been what, July? It's May. So like 10 months ago, I bought it. And I think it's going to make this beautiful skirt. I can't wait to finish and try it on. almost done. Okay, and now we have our waistband attached. So I'm going to now put in the elastic. And the way I like to do my elastic is I just put it on my own body to measure how wide I want it. Oops. So I literally wrap it around myself. And then go a little bit tighter, but I make sure I have enough room. There we go. And I'm going to do this the same way that I'm going to use the safety pin to fish this through. And then to close up that hole, you would use like a slip stitch, which I won't do now. I'll do that later. There we go. Yeah, I think that is the best way, because then you know you got the right size. All right, so I'm fishing that through, which again will be fairly easy. You just want to make sure it doesn't twist around. It stays fairly straight. Thank you, thank you, thank you again for those that have joined. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully everybody has a 3-day weekend or 3 days off before you go back to work. All right. So I have it through. I just make sure that it's pretty lined up, or that it's all not twisted inside. And then I do an overlap and stitch it. So do one over top of the other, just like that. And then I'll stitch it down. And I usually go back and forth a couple times. And I make 2 rows for the waistband. Okay, and I pull it all the way through. And like I said, I'll use a slip stitch to close that hole, and I'll do that at a later time. I will also probably go back and serge on the inside of the skirt. You don't need to, but if you want it to be clean, you might do that. All right, so the skirt part is done for now. And that brings us to our last part, which is the ruffle portion. And so the first step in putting the ruffles together are to pin piece 6. So there's 2 piece 6, and you want to actually pin those 2 pieces together first. Now let me get those out. Here we go. So right sides together, matching the notches. All right. Match the notches, match up the raw edges, and I'm going to pin. My goal was to actually stitch and ruffle this before the live, but I ran out of time. This probably takes just as much time as it does to put the entire skirt together. So it's not difficult. It just takes a little bit of time. But we're making great time because it's 8 o'clock. So I'm just stitching these together at 5/8 inch seam allowance. All right, both piece 6s are together. And now you are going to take piece 8 and you'll match that up to the side that has 2 notches. And then you'll take piece 7 and you'll match it up to the side that has 1 notch. So again, same thing, right sides together. Match up those raw edges and the notches. Now I'm just going to stitch this. Again, 5/8 seam allowance. Uh-oh. My forever challenge is making sure that my fabric does not get caught up. One of the reasons why I switched the plate out so that it doesn't get pulled down in there. feel like my allergies are starting to act up now. And I just go back and finish the other end because I can't get too close to the edge. So one of the ways I make sure that all my edges are stitched, or that I can stitch all the way to the end, is by turning it around. Okay. So let me see. Did I mark the bottom of this? So the other thing I'm doing is marking what is the bottom. So I did make a mark somewhere here. And I'm going to continue that marking, because the ruffles will go in one part at the top, and the bottom you will do the hem. So you need to be able to tell what is the bottom, what is the top. Okay, here we go. So this is the bottom. So I'm just putting some little dots here all along the way so I know which side is going to be hemmed. Because when you get this long piece, it's like it all looks the same. All right, and then at this end is where you're going to attach your piece 7. Ooh, let me make sure I did that right. Did I do it right? Okay, I did. Okay, right sides together. Why does that look like that? I guess that is their piece. I just want to do a double check because that's right. We're gonna pin this. Notches aren't exactly matching up, but it might be because I turned some of these on the wrong side of the fabric. So before I stitch this, I just want to make sure this is right. I'm gonna pin it real quick. Because they all have to be going in the same direction. Okay, so that's that way. And this should be going that way too. Nope, it's not. So let me see if I can put this at the other end. And then we'll do it that way. So it has to make makes like a big smile, if that makes sense. So you just want to make sure that as you're pinning them all together, that it's making a big smile. Okay, here we go. So I had to switch it up just a little bit because I cut this on the wrong side. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you all for joining. We are working on McCalls 7933, and we have just completed the steps of the skirt, and we're working on the ruffle piece. So I am just stitching all of the ruffles together, all of the pieces that make the ruffle together. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to probably do the use the hemmer foot to hem it. Has anybody used the hemmer foot before? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Okay. Hi, Anna. Thank you for sharing my live. I appreciate you. So again, for those that are just joining, I'm just making these dots on this side because this is the edge that I will do the hem on, and the other edge will have a ruffle. I'm going to use a hemming foot for the hem. I'm actually using foot number 62, so it'll create a very narrow hem. And then I'm using my ruffler to create a ruffle, and I'm using, so on your ruffler you have options of a ruffle every 1 stitch, every 6, every 12, and I'm doing every 6. But first we are going to put in the hem. So the other thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut out this seam allowance because it makes it easier to go through the ruffle foot. I'm sorry, makes it easier to go through the hemming foot. So I just cut out like an inch or so. All right, so that is done. And I'm just going to switch my foot out. And I'm going to also switch out my plate. I'm going to use this straight stitch plate. So I'm going to change my foot because I'm going to be using foot number 62. You also want to make sure that your needle is lined up. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to change my plate to this one. Okay. All right, so I am make sure I got it on the right side, and I do. So YouTube is very helpful in figuring out how to use this hemming foot. The key is to keep it turned. You start out with a little turn. You do a couple of stitches. And then it should kind of curl up in there. All right, fingers crossed I don't have a problem. Getting started is the hardest part. Well, of course, my thread came out. All right, there we go. There we go. And just like that. Once I get this thing going, I feel like I can keep it going. I had time to use the narrow. Yeah, it is not. Once you get it going, you can is not bad. It's just getting it going. And of course, the people on YouTube are like, oh, just do this. All right, let's see. All right, I think I'm on a roll. Okay, I think I got it. Look at that. All right, now here's the challenging part. We just got to a seam allowance. Hi, Miss Nikki. All right, this is the part where it gets a little tricky. Trying to get it through this. Come on. There we go, made it. Hi, Maquita. Welcome. Thank you, Miss Nikki, for the gift. I appreciate it. Look at that. That's the hemming foot. It's working. I figured it out. Fingers crossed. I'll get through the rest of this just as quickly as I got through this first part. There we go. Yes. So I'm just doing the hemmer foot number 62, hemming the bottom edge of our ruffle. Last little bit. Yeah, look, this is only my second time really using it. I used it the first time when I made this skirt, and let me just tell you, it's going much smoother this time than it did the first time. So if that gives you any hope that it can work. Look at that. Boom. And just like that, it is done. And this is a pretty long piece. It's very long, in fact. Okay, so we have put the hem in, and that went really quick. I'll be honest with you, I was not prepared for that to go that quickly. So now I'm going to switch over to my ruffler foot. And as I mentioned earlier, I am using, so on the ruffler foot, you have a couple of different options on some of the foots. This one, you have an option to do 6, 12, or 12, or 1, to create a ruffle every 1 stitch, every 6 stitch, or every 12. And I'm doing every 6. Okay, so I am going to just change my foot. Hey, Terrence. And I'm doing number 86, which is the ruffler. So this is going, like I said, quicker than I thought. So I'm going to start at the other end. And again, I'm going to create a ruffle every 6. And I'm also going to do the same thing I did at the bottom, which is cut off about 1 inch of seam allowance when I figure out what I did with my scissors. So it'll make it just go through the ruffler faster, easier. So I'm just going to cut off 1 inch. I'm looking forward to this weekend. It's supposed to be beautiful weather. all weekend, not too hot, not too cold, and most importantly, no rain. Had enough of that. I'm hoping I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and all my allergy symptoms are gonna be gone. That would make me so happy. Okay. Oh, so I am gonna do it on this end. All right, so I'm just sliding it through. And again, I have it set at every 6 stitch, I'm creating a ruffle. And I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Sounds like a little train. Yes, my birthday is tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm getting older, but I'm looking younger. Thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, everybody. I love birthday time. Look at that. We just moving through. Thank you, K Bella. Thank you, thank you, thank you. People don't really like this ruffler foot, but I'm telling you, I live by it. I love it. I look for opportunity to use it because that's how much I like it. It's one of my favorite feet. It sounds like a little train. So we are almost done doing this long ruffle. Can you imagine having to do manual gathering? That's a lot. So that is an option for those that don't have a gathering. So you could definitely manual gather, and I would do it in sections and not try to do a basting stitch through this whole thing. I'm actually going to switch to this last section. I'm going to switch to a gather every one stitch because I actually had a lot of, not a lot, but I had a good amount of gathering left over. And this is going to fall right in the front. There we go. Okay, so let me show this to you so you can see. So this is what the gathering looks like every 6 stitch. And then here's what it looks like for every stitch. So just so you could get an idea of what that looks like. Yeah, it ain't fun. I know. Lynn, I'm telling you, I love the gathering foot. Not only is it a time saver, it's just cool. Okay, so the next step is to start to stitch these pieces together. So you're going to turn your skirt onto the wrong side. And your gather onto the wrong side. And you're going to start to match those raw edges and pin it around. You said you're done gathering, I'm still pinning. Yeah, it is. It's something. It is definitely something. The longest part is doing the gathering and doing the what do you call it? The hemming at the end. Those are the last pieces. I'm glad you're sewing along, Lynn. I didn't realize you were sewing along, but I'm happy. I can't wait to see what fabric you selected. So now I'm just pinning. Oh, wait a minute. I'm pinning it wrong, so I'm doing it right. Right sides together. So let me start the other end. Here we go. Right sides together, and now you're going to pin. You were like, no. Thank you. Thank you, friends, for watching me get it wrong. Thank you for trying to tell me. Okay, here we go. Now I'm pinning. At least I realized early. Can you imagine if I would have pinned this whole thing? Or even worse, sewed it? You say you wanted to look at the instructions. this is a pretty straightforward sew. Um, like I said, the longest part is doing that hemming at the end, which you have options for hemming. You can use fusing tape. You don't have to use a hemming foot. You could definitely, or with a knit, honestly, you could probably leave it raw. Yeah. Oh, you said I caught it when you did. Yeah. Thank you. Look, it takes a village sometimes. Hi, Tadri. Yeah, that hemming foot was, I guess the trick is to make sure that you have it folded, that you keep it folded, and it'll keep catching as long as you have it folded. You're holding it folded. Oh, Tadri, I hope you feel better. We all going through it. I'm telling you, my nose went from being clear to being stuffed, just like that. Okay, look at this. It is going smooth. Okay. Is anyone else sewing along? I know Lynn is working on it, or anybody plan to make it later. If you do, please tag me. I would love to see what you make. I'm always so impressed and excited when I see everybody sew. I hope I have to keep wiping my nose, but I do. All right, let's see what we're working with. You said I'm tempted. You should definitely do it. You should definitely do it. It's such an adorable skirt. I'm gonna make a dress out of it. Watch. I'm definitely gonna make a dress. I have decided I am making a dress. For those, I made this tank top right here, which I'm so excited about. I made it to go with the skirt. I had another tank top in a different color, and I just drafted the pattern from that. So I know I can make a dress. Yeah, I think it would be so cute as a dress. I haven't seen any dress that's like this. Anybody know any patterns that would be like this skirt in a dress version? Here we go. Look at that. I have to break some of these. I made it too tight. Let me see. You said that waistband gives a slimming look. Yeah, I think it looks really cute on. I can't wait to try this on so you all can see. I tried that one on and it just looks so cute. So I'm gonna make these, I'm loosening some of these gatherings where I went to one stitch and I realized like it's too short. I didn't do that on the first one. I kept it at 6. Okay, there we go. Thought I was gonna have to go back to the ruffler, but I think I'm good. All right, I think I am ready to start stitching it. All right, here we go. So I've got the whole thing pinned and now, oh, first thing is I gotta change my foot back out. And I'll put my edge foot on. All right, here we go. And just make sure that just laying flat underneath. And it is. Yes, I'm good bobbin wise. I loaded up my bobbin before I started. Yes, we're making this skirt. It is 79.33. It's a skirt with the ruffle. You can't really see it, but it's like asymmetrical, and it's adorable. So we're almost done. We have a couple people, or we have Lynn, I know, is sewing along. Yeah, I knew that I would be using a lot of thread, so I made sure I filled my bobbin up before we started. Because I was like, I might run out. And I still might. Oh, she's sewing something different. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Aisha. She probably said that and I just missed it. So, Lynn, what are you sewing? Are you sewing a pattern or something self-drafted or? Oh, it's a mini G dress. Okay. Well, I can't wait to see it. Okay. Close. Look at that. It's just coming together so well. Down to the last piece. Uh-oh, look at that. Len, you see, you asked me about that, and just like that, it did run out. Boom. So I spoke too soon. I was almost done. Almost made it. Oops. I'm sorry, I don't need a whole lot. I just need a little bit to finish this. Here we go. And just like that, we are back in business. Okay. Well, I thought we was back in business, but apparently we're not. I don't know what happened to my... Let's try this again. All right. Now I think we're back in business. Okay, here we go. Tadra, you gonna make this? Let's see. Look, Len, people out here living their best life, and I'm not mad at them for it. I love it. Like, whatever makes you happy makes me happy. As long as you ain't hurt nobody. right? Go. And looks like we are done. Then the last little piece, which will be to hem this little part up, which I forgot to do. But all right, I'm gonna try this on and I'll be right back. So here's the black version. Ooh, look at that little skirt. And then I'll be back with this one on. Oops. Store. Oh, sorry about that. Let me turn that volume down. Apologies. Hold on. Sorry about that. All right. Is that better? Do you all hear any echoing? Oh, you said it was fine, so I just messed with it. All right, let me see. All right, how about now? Any echo? Good now. Okay, great. All right. So here is, if you can see it, this is the skirt. I don't know if you can see it. So the one thing I have to do is I have to hem this. So the edges where the skirt comes up, I have to hem that part. So if you see that flip open, that's because I forgot to do that section. But it's super cute. Um, I like it. I'm short, so I could have probably made it a little bit shorter, but I really like it. And so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make one of these, but I'm gonna make it a dress. But I think it's so cute. Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mary. Let me see who else. Thank you, Top Notch. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Miss Tata. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tia, Aisha. So this is view D C. This is view C, and this one is view D. So these are actually the same view. The difference, I mean, same length. The difference is view D has a different color ruffle. That's the only difference. Different color ruffle, and view C has the same color ruffle as the. In terms of the size, I cut a size. What size did I cut? I cut a size 12. So I would say it's probably true to size. And then this top is actually from the loft. And so I actually made this top by using this top. So this is a self-drafted top that I use. Basically, I made it off of this one. And I love it. It fits really good. So yes, Katrina, I did make both the top. And it was really simple. It was basically I cut two pieces of the front and two pieces of the back. Well, let me say this. It's simple if you know how to do lined tops. So I treated the second piece like a lining. The pattern number is McCalls 7933. That's the pattern. And again, the skirt is a very simple sew. The things that will take you the longest are the ruffles, especially if you do the manual gather. If you do the manual gather, I would recommend you do it in sections. The ruffles come in 4 different pieces, and I would do the gathering in 4 different sections. I would not create one long ruffle because it's a very long piece. So the gathering and then the hemming. I use the hemming foot number 62, and it went much smoother this time, my second time around. But if you don't have a hemming foot, you could definitely do a fold over press and stitch method, which is going to be a lot because it's a lot of hemming to do. Or you can use what is the fusible tape to fold over and press with the iron, so you don't have to necessarily do a stitch. Or if you use knit, you could just leave it undone because it's not gonna unravel or fray or anything like that. So anyway, we are about 2 hours in from start to finish. So it's not a bad sew. It's a pretty quick sew. So that
is pretty much it. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. I'm going to be celebrating my birthday this weekend. My birthday is tomorrow. It's my birthday tomorrow. Thank you, Aisha. So I'm going to be celebrating. And I'm looking forward to this long, relaxing weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm gonna let y'all go and enjoy the rest of your weekend with your family. Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for everything. All right. Bye, everyone. If I can click out of this, there we go.